America, early 1930s. The country is on its knees. Banks are closing, farms are dying. Men stand in endless lines for work that no longer exists. The Great Depression has turned hope into a rumor, something people used to believe in. And in this broken land, where hunger speaks louder than law, two names will soon travel faster than bullets: Bonnie and Clyde. But before they became legends, they were just a girl who dreamed of the stage and a boy who learned early that mercy was a luxury. Bonnie Elizabeth Parker was small, barely 5 feet tall, sharp eyes, sharp tongue, and a mind that never stopped racing. She grew up in Texas, raised by a mother who worked herself to exhaustion after Bonnie's father died. Poverty was not a phase, it was the air she breathed. Bonnie loved poetry. She loved movies. She loved the idea that life could be bigger than the streets she walked every day. She wanted applause. She wanted escape. At 16, she married Roy Thornton, a boy already halfway lost to crime. It was not romance, it was desperation dressed as love. By the time Roy went to prison, Bonnie was already alone again, still young, still angry, still dreaming. She wore her wedding ring until the day she died. Not for love, but because it reminded her that escape always comes with a price. Clyde Chestnut Barrow grew up knowing hunger by name. His family lived out of a wagon for years, moving wherever survival pointed. He learned early that rules favored those who wrote them and punished those who followed them. Clyde was small too, quiet, observant. He stole not for thrill, but for control. By his teens, he was already stealing cars, radios, anything that could be sold. Prison did not scare him, it educated him. Then came Eastham Prison Farm. Eastham was not correction, it was cruelty. Inmates were beaten, broken, worked like animals, and Clyde was abused in ways that left scars no one could see, but that never healed. When he got out, something inside him was dead. What replaced it was rage, cold, focused, permanent. January 1930, a small house in Texas. Bonnie was visiting a friend. Clyde walked in. No music, no slow motion, just a glance and a recognition that felt immediate and dangerous. They talked. They laughed. They understood each other in a way neither ever had before. Two restless souls, both convinced the world had already decided their fate. Clyde showed Bonnie his gun. She did not flinch. That moment mattered more than anyone knew. Weeks later, Clyde was arrested again. Bonnie watched him taken away. She cried, not because she was afraid, but because she knew she would follow. She wrote letters, poems, lines filled with longing and fire. Clyde promised her something no one ever had. When I get out, we don't run from the world, we take from it. Clyde escaped, not cleanly, not quietly. When he returned to Bonnie, he was different, harder, more deliberate. This was no longer a boy stealing cars. This was a man preparing for war. Gas stations, grocery stores, $20 here, $50 there. They moved constantly, never staying long, never trusting anyone fully. Bonnie drove, Clyde planned. They learned fast which roads were empty, which clerks froze, which towns talked too much. At night, Bonnie wrote poetry. Clyde cleaned his guns. It felt like freedom, But freedom built on crime always asked for blood. At first, Clyde carried pistols. Simple, reliable. But pistols were for threats, not survival. Clyde was already thinking ahead. He studied police response times, weapons used by law enforcement, vehicle speeds. He understood something critical. If they were going to keep running, they would need more firepower than the law. Much more. This realization would change everything. A robbery goes wrong. A gun is fired. A man falls. No applause, no poetry, just silence and the sound of breathing too fast. Bonnie looks at Clyde. Clyde does not look away. That was the moment they crossed the line they could never uncross. From that point on, there would be no clean endings. Only movement, only violence, only the road. They did not know their names would fill newspapers. They did not know police across 5 states would hunt them. They did not know their car would become a coffin. All they knew was this: the world had taken everything from them, and now they were taking back.
Eastham Prison Farm was not a prison. It was a factory that produced fear, obedience, and hatred. Men worked under the Texas sun until their bodies gave out. Guards ruled with fists, clubs, and humiliation. Complaints were answered with beatings. Resistance was answered with worse. Clyde Barrow learned one lesson there above all others. The law was not justice. The law was power, and power respected only one thing: violence. He watched men break. He watched men disappear, and he promised himself something in the dark of his cell. If I ever walk out of here again, I will never be weak. Clyde did not dream of freedom. He dreamed of revenge. After his release, Eastham became an obsession. He spoke about it constantly, about guards, about names, about routines. Bonnie listened. She saw what prison had done to him. She saw the fire behind his eyes, and she did not run. That choice defined her fate. By late 1932, Clyde was no longer working alone. He recruited family, friends, men he trusted or thought he did. The Barrow gang was never large, but it was mobile, fast, and ruthless. They lived in stolen cars, slept in fields, crossed state lines like ghosts. Every robbery funded the next escape. Every escape sharpened Clyde's thinking. This was no longer crime for survival. This was strategy. Violence escalates quickly. A traffic stop, a nervous officer, a sudden movement, a shot, then another. Once blood is spilled, something changes forever. Clyde learned that hesitation killed faster than bullets. From that moment on, lawmen were no longer obstacles. They were threats, and threats were eliminated. Bonnie was there, sometimes driving, sometimes reloading, always watching. She later wrote poetry about fate and death, but she never wrote about the sounds. In 1933, police raid a hideout. What they find shocks the nation. Photographs. Bonnie posing with a cigar. Bonnie holding a gun. Bonnie smiling like the world had finally noticed her. The newspapers explode. America, desperate for distraction, turns criminals into characters. They were called lovers, outlaws, rebels, almost never murderers. The myth was born. And myths are dangerous because they protect lies. Clyde upgrades. No longer pistols alone. He acquires shotguns, brutal at close range, devastating in ambushes, perfect for roadblocks, perfect for intimidation. But Clyde wants more. He studies police arsenals, he studies armor, he studies cars, and he finds the answer in military hardware. the Browning automatic rifle. Originally built for war, heavy, powerful, capable of punching through engine blocks and body armor. Clyde steals one, then another. This changes everything. Police revolvers are suddenly obsolete. During pursuits, Clyde fires through car doors, disabling engines, forcing lawmen to back off or die. This is not random shooting. This is calculated dominance. Bonnie watches him handle the rifle with calm precision. She understands something terrifying. They are no longer running. They are hunting their way forward. Clyde executes his obsession. A prison break at Eastham. Inmates escape. A guard is killed. This act does what dozens of robberies could not. It unites law enforcement, Texas Rangers, state police, sheriffs. The hunt becomes personal. Clyde Barrow is no longer a criminal. He is an enemy. The gang fractures. Members are arrested. Some are killed. Some betray. Bonnie is injured in a car crash. Her acid burns her leg to the bone. She can barely walk, but she stays. She always stays. Pain becomes routine. Fear becomes background noise. What remains is loyalty and momentum. By now, they know. There will be no prison. There will be no trial. Only one ending waits at the end of the road. Bonnie writes less. Clyde plans more. They talk about death like it is weather, inevitable but distant. They are wrong. The Barrow gang is smaller now, but deadlier. They have crossed from notoriety into infamy, and the men hunting them are learning fast. This is no longer a chase. It is a countdown.
For Bonnie and Clyde, the road was not a way out. It was a battlefield. Every mile carried risk. Every car in the mirror could be death. They did not wait to be cornered. They struck first. Speed, firepower, shock. That was the formula. At the start, Clyde relied on handguns, mostly Colt and Smith & Wesson revolvers, .38 caliber. Simple, reliable, familiar. Handguns were used for intimidation during robberies, close-range encounters, emergency defense. But revolvers had limits. 6 rounds, short range, poor penetration. Against police vehicles, they were nearly useless. Clyde understood this quickly. Next came shotguns, usually 12 gauge. Clyde favored them for ambushes. A shotgun did not require precision. At close distance, it erased hesitation. They were used at roadblocks, during sudden stops, to disable officers at short range. The sound alone ended pursuits. Bonnie carried ammunition. Sometimes she reloaded. She never fired often, but she was always ready. This was Clyde's true weapon, the Browning automatic rifle, .30-06 caliber, military grade. It could punch through car doors, engine blocks, police body armor. Clyde stole bars from National Guard armories. He modified magazines, carried multiple loaded spares. During chases, he aimed low, not at men, but at engines. Police cars died on the road behind him. This was not panic shooting. This was method. Their car mattered as much as their guns. Clyde favored Ford V8s, fast, durable, reliable. He once wrote Henry Ford a letter praising his engines. The car was escape route, firing platform, shield. Bonnie often drove. Clyde fired. Together, they moved like a single organism. Most shootings happened in seconds. A stop, a shout, a sudden explosion of sound. Officers expected criminals to freeze. Bonnie and Clyde did not freeze. They responded instantly. That difference killed people. Officers trained for arrests, not war. Clyde fought like a soldier. Contrary to myth, Bonnie was not a frontline gunfighter. Her real role, lookout, driver, ammunition handler, morale. She wrote, She observed, she stayed. Her presence hardened Clyde. He fought not only to survive, but to protect her. Gunfire leaves marks, ringing ears, sleepless nights, blood on clothes. Bonnie's injuries worsened. Clyde limped from old wounds. They were running on borrowed time, but they kept moving. Movement was life. Stopping meant death. Police learned. They stopped using revolvers. They formed ambush teams. They studied Clyde's methods. This was no longer pursuit. It was preparation. The road was closing. The guns had kept them alive, but guns make noise, and noise draws hunters. The law was no longer chasing legends. It was tracking patterns, and the patterns led to one inevitable point. By 1934, the roads felt different. Not quieter, more watchful. Gas stations remembered faces. Small towns locked doors faster. Sheriffs no longer chased. They waited. Bonnie and Clyde felt it. The space around them was shrinking. The man chosen to stop them was not loud. Frank Hamer, former Texas Ranger, quiet, methodical, relentless. Hamer did not chase headlines. He studied patterns, routes, habits, timing. He understood Clyde Barrow was not reckless, which made him dangerous. The trap would not be sprung by force. It would be sprung by trust. Henry Methvin, a gang member desperate to survive, made a deal. His family cooperated. Information flowed quietly. Where they drove, when they stopped, which roads they favored. Bonnie and Clyde had always feared betrayal, but familiarity breeds blindness. Bonnie could barely walk now. Her leg was twisted, burned, infected. She slept sitting up. Clyde carried her when needed. They were no longer glamorous. They were tired. And tired people make predictable choices. Louisiana, a rural road, early morning. They believed they were helping Methvin, helping a friend. The Ford slowed. That was enough. 6 officers, hidden in brush, rifles, shotguns, bars of their own now. No warnings, no arrests, only certainty. They knew one truth. If Bonnie and Clyde fired first, officers would die, so they would not allow that moment to exist. The Ford came into view, dust rising, sunlight on the windshield. Bonnie turned her head. Clyde's foot was still on the accelerator. Then the road erupted. Over 100 rounds in seconds. Glass shattered, metal tore. The engine died screaming. Bonnie never screamed. Clyde never reached his gun. The car rolled forward, then stopped. The silence afterward was absolute. The bodies remained inside, broken, still. The officers stood motionless. No cheers, no relief, only the weight of finality. The hunt was over. Word spread instantly. People came running. They cut pieces of clothing, pulled hair, tried to steal souvenirs. America devoured its own myth. Bonnie and Clyde had asked to be buried together. They were not. Families refused. Even in death, they were denied unity. The guns fell silent. The road ended, but the story did not. Because legends do not die when bodies do. They die when the truth replaces them. The Ford was towed into town. Holes everywhere. Doors torn open by bullets. Seats soaked with blood. Glass reduced to glittering dust. This was the real monument. Not statues, not songs. A machine destroyed by violence. The same violence that once kept it alive. Newspapers spoke of romance. They printed poems, photographs, smiles frozen in time. What they did not print? The fear in small-town clerks' eyes, the officers who never came home, the families left without answers. Bonnie and Clyde did not steal from banks to feed the poor. They stole to survive, and sometimes to feel powerful in a world that had made them small. Bonnie Parker wanted to be remembered. That part was true, but not like this. She was not a warrior, not a general. She was a witness, a woman who stayed when leaving might have saved her. Her poetry survived her. Her body did not. Clyde Barrow was shaped by cruelty, but cruelty does not absolve cruelty. He became what he hated, a man who believed the gun was the only honest language left. For a time, it worked. Then it didn't. Frank Hamer never celebrated. He never sold his story as glory. He understood something America often forgets. Violence solves problems only until it creates bigger ones. The ambush ended the chase. It did not heal the damage. Because Bonnie and Clyde are not just people, they are symbols of poverty turning into rage, of love entangled with destruction, of fame born from desperation. They are a mirror, and mirrors are uncomfortable. They lived fast, they died violently. They left nothing behind but questions and one quiet truth. Legends are built when we forget the cost paid by everyone else. The road still exists. Cars still pass where bullets once flew. No markers, no warnings, just asphalt, and the echo of a story that refuses to disappear. Bonnie and Clyde did not beat the system. They did not escape history. They became a cautionary tale, disguised as a legend. And that may be the most dangerous ending of all.